I'm a mom of 3 children, and I'm a preschool teacher. I also worked in law enforcement for several years and have seen the effects that abuse and neglect can have on a small child. With all of this, it's heart-wrenching to see the mental and physical pain that another human being can cause to a child. Not only does it affect the child in the short term, and it can affect the child and their ability to interact with people their whole lives. It can affect their social and emotional relationships. It can even affect their physical relationships with people and the way that they interact and connect in society through their whole lives. There's been more than one instance when I have said parents should have to get screened before they become a parent. Look what they did to that child, or what was done to that child should be done to that parent. These are things said in the emotion of the moment, and this line of thinking is rarely practical for consistent everyday implementation. Limiting or taking away the right to be a parent, I feel, is a communistic practice, and places such as China do this. We are not a communistic government, so I don't think that we should implement something like this and try to take something away that's a right. This is not a privilege like driving a car or getting a library card. It is recognized as a basic human right by the United States the United Nations in the Convention of the Rights of a Child, which was first introduced by the Geneva Convention in 1924. Like any right, it can and should be taken away if a crime is committed against it. The right to freedom is taken away in the United States every day for crimes like murder or drug trafficking or human trafficking, to name a few. Child abuse and neglect should not be any different. I have always felt it is your choice to procreate. Every time a man and a woman decide to have sex, the consequences could be a child. If that choice is made and pregnancy is the outcome, those two people have then become responsible for that life. There are many couples in the United States who want children and cannot have them naturally. Adoption is always a possibility. According to megacz.com, about 20% of all people in the U.S. cannot have children for one reason or another. Whether they are infertile or they are same-sex couples, there's a lot of different reasons people can't have children. There just are a lot of people that want children and can't have them, and it is sad. Along with sex education in schools, I believe there needs to be adoption education available when a pregnant mother goes to the doctor. I sometimes wonder if people are not truthful with themselves when they become pregnant and they do not think of all the options for a baby after they're born. Many women seek non-medically necessary abortions when they could have the child and adopt it out. Many times people are not prepared to have children, and this can lead to and turn to abuse. There are many other reasons for abuse. One of the biggest is drug use. In our state and in many of the U.S. states, the punishment for child abuse and neglect does not fit the crime. Parents are afforded every chance, including watered-down counseling and a cooling-off period for parents who abuse their children. It takes a lot for a child to be permanently taken away from a parent. The laws provide lax punishment at best for the abused child, and the siblings of that child are not protected or considered when the abused child is being considered. In speaking with a counselor at the Wyoming Women's Center in Lusk, 75% of the women in prison are there for paper crimes. Less than 1% are there for abuse against a child. The punishment should fit the crime when it comes to abuse and neglect. Prison time and counseling for less severe cases in which a parent could eventually get the child back after a rigorous screening process with the provision that they will not have any more children. In cases of habitual or severe abuse, I truly feel that the parent, man or woman, should be sterilized and not allowed to ever have children again. The death penalty is always an option for murderers and serial killers. I feel it should be an option when it comes to severe child abuse. You are abusing another human being. That's not okay. I feel if these laws were in place, people would think twice before abusing their child. They may even think twice before having a child or trying to procreate. Laws and their punishment are deterrents for the most part. And severe laws taking away the right to bear children should not be the exception to the rule. Every right, human right, every right has a consequence if you decide that you're going to do something to forgo that right. If you're a human trafficker, if you are a drug person, you get your rights taken away. If you murder someone, there are different levels of it. There's first-degree murder, there's second-degree murder, there's premeditation. I think all of these need to apply to children. Children are people. I don't think that in 1924 the Geneva Convention would have come up with these rules, these human rights for children, if they did not intend for someone to take off of them and create some laws. Our laws in this country, in this state, are so lax when it comes to children. We let children be beat. We let children starve. And I really think that we need to do more to protect them. Thank you.